Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to play with some of the best cool toned makeup out there because I love cool tones, I love neutrals, I love cool, I love warm, I like a bit of everything. And right now, cool toned makeup is making a little bit of a resurgence. So let's go ahead and capitalize off of that. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. Some of this cool toned makeup will be new, some of it will be older. It's going to be a nice mix. And two of the palettes that I'm going to use here, the first one here is Tom Ford. This is the Soleil Neige. It's the holiday collection or holiday palette from a couple months ago. It's a beautiful cool toned palette, and I know it may look like this is a warm. It actually kind of is, but as soon as you mix it together, it gets nice and cool. So I have this one here, and the other palette I'm going to use here is from Dior, and this is the Mimi Rose palette. This is part of their spring release. This one here is super pretty. This one here is a little bit lighter, a bit more ethereal in the blue, purple, periwinkle family. And the first one from Tom Ford, I have swatches, so Tom Ford up here and then Dior on the bottom. The Tom Ford one, I think I'm going to use more of this beautiful light color, maybe one of the topper like shimmer colors. And then from Dior, I'm going to go into the purple and this beautiful light blue. It's going to be so pretty. I love cool tone makeup. I think it's pretty. I think it's fresh. We haven't seen very much of it recently. It's been just lots of saturations of warm pinky browns. So all the brushes that I'm using, the makeup that I'm listed, everything is listed in the description box down below. Those are affiliate links, so go ahead and check that out. This is the BK Beauty 201 brush. I'm just gonna go into this color here, and this will just be everywhere. It's kind of like a light transition color. It's so pretty. This palette on its own kind of gives that frosted sort of millennial makeup vibe, which is so pretty. For the time being, that's all I'm using from Tom Ford. I'm going to switch over to the Mimi Rose palette here, and I'm going into this color here. It's actually a little bit more purple than it looks here. It's a little bit lighter, and I'm using this MAC brush. I forget what it's called exactly. I'll list it down below because I've used it for so many years that all of the lettering has sort of rubbed off here. So I'm going to do a sort of halo look. So the darker colors are going to be on the outside and inside, and the lighter blue color will be on the center part of the eye here. So a couple weeks ago, I was just on Instagram and I saw the makeup artist. Her name is Hiromi Ueda. She's the makeup artist for Armani Beauty. She created this beautiful purple halo look for some event. I think it was in Milan, probably a fashion week there. And it was purple and light and so pretty. So I thought I'd like to do that. So we're just going to use these two, well, the same color actually, just in two locations, just like that. Doesn't have to be super precise at first. Just try not to put much of anything in the center here. And then let me just switch out. This is another BK Beauty. This here, it's the 207. It's like a little pencil brush, and I'm taking just a little bit more. I'm going to just place it up here because I do want to see some of the color just lifted up here. I know it sounds counterintuitive to add darker color in the inner part of the eye, but this is just this style of makeup here, and it does look very pretty. And for those of you wondering, you know, sometimes when you follow these tutorials at home, you may be thinking, oh, she does it so much quicker than me. I do edit out parts where I'm just blending or adding color, because otherwise it would be like 35-40 minutes long. And so if it takes you a little bit longer at home, don't worry. I'm just taking that same purple color and sweeping it on the bottom lashes here, on the inside and outside as well. So it's sort of like a halo. The light color is just in the center with the darker color outside and inside here. Okay, now I'm going to use a setting spray. This is the Forever Perfect Fix Setting Spray. I'm just going to put some on this brush here. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy A505. This is excellent if you want to add any sort of shimmer, satin, glitter, sparkly shadow. It's made for that. I just want to make it a little bit more extra, so I'm going to spray the brush, get it a little bit damp, just like that. And then I'm going to go into this beautiful blue. It's so pretty. Just going to load up the brush here. And then just going to place this in the center. I'm just taking some on a fingertip as well, the same color, and I'm just going to tap it on top. I just find that swiping your finger in the palette also just picks up a nice amount as well. And then I'm just taking my little brush from before and I'm just making sure that the dark and the light sort of stand out and nothing got blended out. I will also take just a little bit of the center color because this one here is a bit peachier, and I'm just going to mix these together. To finish up the eyes, I'm going to use my Chanel waterproof liner in 88. It's just a black waterproof liner. I'm going to go in the top waterline and then a little bit on top as well. And then I'm going to use my Chantecaille Fossil Longest Lash Mascara. I'll be back in a second. Now for a cool toned primer, let's go into this one from NARS. I think that this product here is greatly underrated. It's the NARS Radiance Primer. It technically has an SPF in it. There's also a matte one. This is just the prettiest, peachiest, rosy color. It just gives you such a beautiful, natural glow. And it's great. It has an SPF. It's a little bit moisturizing. It honestly, sometimes I wear it on its own as like a no makeup day. Like, look at that glow. And it's one of those makeup items that it isn't that popular here on the internet. And I don't know why. It's so nice. I think NARS in general makes really good base products. Like, they're not always like the fanciest. Like, sometimes the names of NARS products are, yeah, too much. I agree. But honestly, as far as like foundations, BB creams, tinted moisturizers, they're so good. Their concealers are great too. Their bronzers, just a great brand. For the foundation, I'm going into this Prada Beauty foundation. I'm the shade MN40, I believe. So I don't know if you saw this, but last week, the week before, I was in New York City, the Big Apple. I went with my husband because he was there for meetings for work. And this used to be something that he would do more often. And then, you know, the COVID times happened and that really slowed down for a while. So it's picking up a little bit. And so he went to New York for meetings and I went to be a tourist. And it was so beautiful because a couple of my friends asked me like, oh, what was your favorite part? Honestly, the weather. The week that we were there, it was perfect. It was so warm. So in Celsius, it was like 20 degrees Celsius for 3 days in a row. Let me Google what that means in Fahrenheit. 68. So it was late 60s, early 70s for like 3 days in a row. Maybe not early 70s, but like mid to late 60s in March, in spring, 3 days in a row. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous weather, beautiful, clear blue skies. It did not rain a single day. It got a little bit chilly when we left, but that was it. Every day just walking out with sneakers, no winter boots, a light spring jacket, and there was like 3 days in a row I didn't wear a jacket. Just like a long sleeve, like cardigan or a turtleneck, and I was fine for the whole day. It was absolutely beautiful. For the concealer, I'm going into my Chanel Sublimage concealer in the shade 32. It has a nice peachy pink undertone. I do think a good concealer is a good idea for this type of look because we are adding a little bit of darkness in the inner corner, so just use something good for that. And yeah, what did I do in New York? I was a tourist. I went a little bit everywhere. I went from like the financial district all the way up to Harlem. I went to the Lower East Side. I went to Hell's Kitchen. I went into Brooklyn a couple of times. I haven't really explored the other boroughs. I haven't been to Queens yet. I haven't been to Long Island yet. I haven't been to the Bronx yet. They have a zoo there. I have plans to go back one day, and I'd like to explore more. It's just that, like, I honestly forgot how massive of a city Manhattan is. Like, my goodness. I took transit the entire time I was there, which was very helpful. I really like transit. Although I have to say, New York transit is a little bit confusing because here in Montreal, we have multiple lines. But let's say we have like the green line. So let's say you're running to catch your train and you get there just in time to see your train leave. Okay, all I have to do is sit and wait for the next train, and then I go. That's not the case in New York because the different trains go on different lines. So if you miss your train, the next one coming, you may be downtown, downtown wanting to go uptown. Well, maybe the next train is just like an express train straight to Flushing or something. Like there's just like, no, like you can't just hop on the next train. You have to sometimes you have to switch lines completely. You have to like go outside and like switch directions. So that was a learning curve, but I got there. For some contour, I'm going into this Westman Atelier contour stick in Biscuit. This is a slightly cool toned color, which is nice. It's more natural. It isn't going to give you anything orange, and it fits in with our cool toned theme today. I love how small this is. I took this with me. It was perfect for travel. I walked across the High Line. I actually did that twice, once by myself and once with my husband. I went to Greenwich Village. I went to Soho, Lower East Side. I don't know. Kind of just explored everywhere. Went to the Natural History Museum, went to the Tenement Museum. Highly recommend that. Did some walking tours in Chinatown, Little Italy. Did I say I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge? I did that as well. It was great. Wonderful time. I was looking for my bronzer. I couldn't find it. I'm going into my Tom Ford Terra bronzer. So pretty, also extremely underrated. And this one here is a little bit cool toned. So again, it's not going to hit any sort of orange, and it just fits in with our vibe here of the cool toned makeup. So New York was fantastic and just so lucky to hit such a great week. Sometimes when you travel, the weather is what the weather is, and you can't really do anything about that. For the powder, I'm going to use this Givenchy Prisme Libre loose powder, and I'm using the shade number 3. What's it called again? It's called Voile Rosé, so like a rosy veil. I'm going to use a big fluffy brush. I have this Ruffert 102. It's really massive. So what I do is I take a little bit of the powder here, just knock it off into the cap, then just swirl, make a little bit of a mess. This is a really nice powder formula. I have dry, dehydrated skin. I live in Montreal. The winters here are harsh and cold, and this is a powder that doesn't dry me out. Nothing feels like dry or cakey. So if you have this type of skin type, or if you live in really cold, arid climates, the Prisme Libre face powders might be for you. For the blush, I'm going to keep it super basic. For a cool toned blush, I'm going to use the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow. This is the original Rosy Glow, the pink one. Super pink, super pretty, and just a really excellent cool toned blush. This is the Chanel blush brush. It's great. Just a little bit of blush on the cheeks. These are the blushes that are sort of adaptive. They have different colors. There's like pink, coral, rosewood, mahogany, and they all react to your skin. So if you swatch these on the back of your hand, you might see absolutely nothing because it takes a minute for it to sit on your cheek and sort of just adapt a little bit. For the highlighter, I'm going to go into my Tom Ford. This is the Rose Irisé, also part of the holiday release. So stunning. This is like a rosy, pinky highlighter, and I'm using a Sigma highlighter brush here. It's called the Tapered Highlighter Brush. This highlighter is magnificent. It's a powder, but it blends into the skin like it's a cream, like it's a butter. So pretty. I love it. Oh, I bought this months ago and it's still one of my favorite products. It's pink, not too pink. It's like a pearlescent, cool toned pink, and it just, like, it's a powder, but it melts into the skin. So stunning. For the lip, I cannot think of anything more cool toned than this Dior Addict Lip Maximizer in the shade Icy Blue. Like, what's cooler than cool? Ice cold. Love it. And this I bought online in like a fugue state of makeup, and I have to say, what a stunning color. It makes my teeth look whiter, and it sort of turns, instead of just being this like stark blue, it has a little bit of a lavender lilac, like a lilac undertone. So after a second, it sort of melts into my skin pH like the blush, and it will adapt a little bit and be so pretty. Okay, so this is what the cool toned makeup looks like. Now, normally to finish off a video, I have to go into a fragrance, of course. This is the Miss Dior Parfum, the new version here. However, I am going into a doctor's office later today, so I'm gonna skip the perfume because I don't want to be like offensive with my fragrance everywhere, but let's just pretend, push, that I did apply some makeup here. Makeup, perfume. Let's pretend I put some perfume on. So this is the finished look. I think the halo eye is very pretty. I like that little bit of the frosted blue here. It looks a little bit more muted. Like on its own, if you use the blue, it does look a little bit more intense. And listen, I love blue eyeshadow. I think there's a time and place for it. But I think mixing it into this purple here and a little bit of that Tom Ford earlier just makes it a little bit more wearable. It's light, it's pretty, and this lip color I think is so pretty, so interesting as well. And a few of you said that you used to have like a lip product like similar to this in like the 90s or early 2000s, and I'm like, yeah, the 90s and 2000s are definitely back in the beauty and cosmetics world. So this is my take on a cool toned makeup look. Let me know what you think down below. I did a version of this last week or the week before called like neutral makeup get ready with me, so I did a neutral one. I thought I would do a cool one. Let me know what you think. I could definitely keep revisiting these styles of videos. I think it's nice to just like pick one avenue and continue that way. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you're subscribed, and if you're a returning viewer, make sure you're still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube will in fact unsubscribe you. So if you've made it to the end of the video, maybe leave a blue emoji. I feel like blue works for like cool toned makeup. Yeah, leave a little blue heart emoji of any kind. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.